and welcome back to the channel. I have such a fun video today. Oh my gosh, I've been buzzing for the last 2 or 3 days since I heard this. If you saw the title of this video, you know I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the world, aliens. Oh my gosh, I have to find it somewhere, but there's the best meme of, okay, so anybody who's followed me for a long time knows I'm fascinated by weird stuff. Love weird stuff. By the way, if this shirt keeps going down, what's really a dress, it's a maxi dress. It is, it's not intentional. I'm in that, like I said, I've been doing weight loss, so I'm in between sizes with things, and so it's not like, I'm not trying to push up the girls to y'all at the same time. I kind of don't care. Like, it's just a body. This whole thing's one big meat sack that's gonna go away anyway. But guys, if you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you know I love aliens. I love the concept of aliens. I'm a former New Ager who still has a good chunk of New Age beliefs, but I got beliefs from everywhere. I'm probably more like Buddhist and Taoist, if anything, at this point. I kind of have more of that mindset, just, you know, be in the present moment, let things go, everything happens for a reason, this too shall pass, even though those are all things that you hear the Christian religions say. So, like, I'm just kind of a big amalgamation of several things, but I love mysteries. I love scientific mysteries. I love mysteries of the universe. And one thing that's always been my jam since I was really, really little is aliens. Okay, I know I'm really excited, and I had to film this and put this in later because I'm gonna forget. If you guys want to see me every day, I'm trying to upload more on this channel, but I'm actually at Katie's Insight. I'm giving financial help and stimulus news. I'm helping you guys find stimulus money in your areas right now. I'm helping you guys with that because, you know, everybody is struggling and needs help right now. So I feel like this is what I could do to maybe be of service. And so when I find money in the government in your areas, I want you to be the first ones to know because that money will run out quick. So make sure and subscribe and hit notifications so when that you can get that alert when I find different money places, and you can be the first people to get it before it runs out. So you can see me there and check me out there as well. I have tons of recent, I have a few recent videos I've done. I did a video on Princess Diana that I thought was fairly interesting where I give some perspectives about her that you guys might like. I give one about Britney Spears and her mental issues and some other truths behind that. I also just did one on Olivia Jade, Lori Loughlin, the college admission scandal. So go check those out and let me know what you think. And otherwise, okay, I'm gonna get on with the video because I'm just too excited. I'm bursting. I gotta talk about aliens. Let's continue. Do y'all remember back in the day, I'm 36, so back in the day when you would go like to the grocery store and you would check out, they would have these weird magazines. You know, like they'll have kind of like the paper National Enquirers and different gossip ones. But they'd always have this one called Weekly World News. Anybody remember Weekly World News? Sound off if you remember. I had a subscription. That's how much I loved it. And they always had this thing about Bat Boy. I'll have to like find this at some point and do a video and talk about it. But we're going to talk about aliens because, all right, now I know I've been a little bit on this side of the internet. I hate it that I've been a controversial figure. I'm like, what? Because I'm a little bit of a New Ager that makes me controversial? I don't know. And I know there's other things involved. I'm not saying not, but that's one thing I've been really ripped up for is the personal tools I use to navigate the planet, i.e. my spirituality. I don't really know why that's upsetting to anybody. I could get it if I was pushing a religion or something on y'all. This is just who I am. This is what I do. It's a very private thing when I say private, it's not something where I gotta go to church or a group of people. No disrespect if that's you, right? The more positive people, the better. As long as you're doing something for a positive, uplifting purpose, it's not hurting yourself or other people, I say what's the harm, right? We all need different tools, different ways to navigate the world around us depending on where you were born, where you grew up in. So I have, you know, as long as it's not destructive or detrimental to people, I have a lot of respect for different aspects of different religions and spiritualities. But in my spirituality, one thing that I take very serious, so I'm kind of good. I love the concept of aliens. I have studied alien cultures since I was young. When I got access to the internet around 12-ish years old, it's probably weird hearing y'all for some of y'all hearing that. Yes, it was probably around 12. I think, well, we had the internet when I was like, we had a computer by the time I was 8. And we had AOL online, but it was like nothing. It wasn't like, it was like, there were just a few web pages. There was really nothing to it. And it didn't really become what it was until like the mid-90s. You remember the mid-90s and you saw these pushes where like once a month in the mail, you'd have a CD of free AOL hours. And you could go on there and you've got mail. Like it was before all of that, right? And I think there was Netscape. There was another one too. I forget, Prodigy? Was Prodigy one? Am I misremembering this? Because again, it's my memory because I've had years of illness. It's hard to know what I can trust with my memory. I feel like there was one called Prodigy. But it was around 12 when I started to get more access to the internet, and the internet started to kind of come into existence and be more of what it is. And I was fascinated. And I learned that there's all these different types and groups and categories of aliens. Let me say this with this video. I feel like I'm going to get reamed by this video. I'm not saying any of this is real. I'm not saying I have any evidence or any science to back any of this up, although there has been some very interesting documentaries about some very weird science and weird DNA they found on people and stuff. Like, there's all kinds of, guys, this is a rabbit hole I could go into for years. I'm saying I can't sit here necessarily right now and show you any evidence. This is a subject that I absolutely love to talk about, that's very uplifting for me, and something that, you know, is a big part of my life in terms of passion. So it's funny because, like, I've had people in the comments, they're like, so what have you been doing? You've been gone off YouTube, you know, well, on this channel. I've been back since May on the other one. But I've had people say, they're like, what have you been doing? What do you do? What kind of YouTube do you do? I'm like, really nothing. I'm so busy between this channel and the other channel. My off time is like Ancient Aliens on repeat. I love Ancient Aliens. I love the dude with the hair. I call him Hair. And it's so funny because, like, he had this show for a while where they kind of dressed him up like Indiana Jones. But, like, he comes across, how do I put this? He has a really different way of speaking. It's not good or bad. He has his own cadence, kind of, and it just comes across odd. But I love him. I love this guy. I can't remember. George Tzoukios. It's something beautiful in Greek that I'll never be able to pronounce because I can't remember it. I'm not that intelligent. But he's the one that has the crazy hair, and I just feel like you can. For me, as somebody who's done marketing and advertising and business, I can see him in the meetings with all these higher ups and, you know, the people who are managing him and trying to craft his persona and be like, and we want to emphasize the hair, more gel and make it crazier. I just love Ancient Aliens. And again, I'm not saying Ancient Aliens, it's a fun show, but, like, even as somebody who wants to believe in all this stuff, I also try to be a critical thinker. I think it's always important. Sorry, my chair keeps going this way. So if y'all see me just start leaning, my chair is moving by itself. I'm sure it's aliens or ghosts. Actually, it's probably the floor is a little bit uneven in this house. But nope, logical conclusion, it's aliens and ghosts. But that actually ties in perfectly to what I'm saying. I know I'm talking quick. I'm just so excited about this subject. And I typically talk quick anyways, but even more so because I love aliens. But, you know, I've learned over the years of, you know, the New Ageisms and loving the weird oddity things like this, is that you have to have a level of, a critical eye for these things. You have to be able to weigh the information, put logic in there. So I'm not at all trying to tell you guys this is real. And funny enough, Ancient Aliens, there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, this is such a stretch. They go from point A to point B to point Mars sometimes. Like, you know, a lot of what they're saying, they're giving interesting theories. That's why they call it the Ancient Alien theories or, you know, blank theories. I love it. It's so much fun. Not saying it's real, but something, I'll tell you, this is just how I operate. Ever since I was little, there was something in my gut that said the things we grew up believing aren't real, right? Like ghosts, like aliens, like certain things. Oh, that's not real. Something in my gut has always kind of told me that's horse crap. That I don't know. And I don't have any evidence for this. I'm just telling you guys how I feel. There's something in me that says I believe that we have different beings from different planets that exist, humanoid and otherwise, with different forms of consciousness. And in my opinion, how arrogant could we be to believe that we are the only ones in this universe or any universes that are, you know, what we call intelligent life? And in that, I believe that there are probably good ones and bad ones, right? Just like people. You walk down the street, some people have good intentions for you, some people have bad intentions. You just don't know. I think it's kind of the same thing here, so it's probably a mix of both. And I'm one of those people that in that, I firmly believe that there are both probably good, I'll use real simple terms, good and bad ETs out there who have our best interests and not our best interests. So, and like I said, I don't know that it's real. It might not be. This might be stuff that just gets me through my day because I'm somebody who's gone through a lot of chronic illness and dealt with loneliness. So maybe this is just a coping mechanism. Like I've psychoanalyzed myself left, right, and center. Y'all don't know. I'm super analytical, especially with myself, and I psychoanalyze stuff all the time in myself. I can hear the comments, well then why'd you do some of the things you've done in the past? Well, I was so sick. When you're constantly trying to stay on planet Earth and you're in so much pain, it's kind of hard to really be able to look too much outside of that when I was in that bubble of the severity of it. But I want to go ahead and bring this up. I was dying when I saw this. Ah! I'm not saying it's real, but it's so much fun to entertain. Here we go. This is a story. Now, this is from NBC News, but this has made the rounds around the globe. It says, I get so excited, I just keep making noises, I'm sorry. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. A Galactic Federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. Haim Eshad said, yes, Queen, tell him, Haim, I hope I'm saying your name right. So much fun. Okay, I gotta calm down, guys. Everybody calm down. Here we go. A former Israeli space security chief has sent eyebrows shooting heavenward. I'm gonna go by saying that Earthlings have been in contact with extraterrestrials from a Galactic Federation. So, guys, what they're talking about here, this is a little bit of how do you put this? This is a little bit of like terminology from people who are kind of like me who study this stuff. I don't know, and here there are a couple things. I've studied a lot of stuff over the years, but I don't, like, sometimes I'll take breaks from it, like if I get really busy with work or things. But my understanding is what they're calling the Galactic Federation. There's like this hierarchy of really positive aliens who are like humanoid, who look like us. They're like really beautiful, tall versions of us, who they don't have to really, they don't worry about their survival. Like their whole system is set for just convenience and beauty and a higher way of living. And that they are wanting to connect with us and that they want to help us because from their perspective, we are family members, we come from similar DNA, and they are just trying to prepare us for that. Not saying this is real, I'm just explaining what Galactic Federation means when you hear some of these terms. I think they call these, like they call them, sometimes there are different names for them. The really popular one that they say is Pleiadian. They come from the Pleiades star cluster or the Andromedans, the Andromeda star cluster. There's different ones, but this is so much fun. The unidentified flying objects have asked not to publish that they are here. Humanity is not ready yet. Haim Eshad, a former head of Israel's Defense Ministry Space Directorate, told Israelis Yediot Aharonot newspaper. I'm so sorry to the Yediot. I feel like I'm saying idiot with a yeah. I'm so, and that's not intentional. I'm probably totally mispronouncing this. I am ignorant. I'm not trying to be rude. So it says, the interview in Hebrew ran on Friday and gained traction after parts were published in English for the Jerusalem Post on Tuesday. So guys, hear me out on this. This is a former Israeli space security chief. This is somebody really high up there. There was also a government official somewhere in Asia, I think it was Japan, that said he had been taken by a UFO. Not to mention, I think it was like one of the Canadian defense ministers, maybe, I can't remember who it is, but he's always on Ancient Aliens. I'll have to get the names. I'll do more videos on this if you guys are interested, if you like the video, and I'll get more info to you. But he's always on Ancient Aliens, and he was a defense minister, and he's talked about the aliens and all of that. So there are more and more heads of state that are coming out and talking about the fact that aliens exist and that we're working with them. Look, I'm so tired of human beings being so awful. I am so totally up for meeting some alien cousins and going hanging out with nice tall people. I'm always the short one anyways, being barely 5'2". I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. And I have candles ready for them to smell. Because they're going to want to come and smell my body sprays. So you guys don't know this about me. I've become really into collecting body spray. I love body sprays, perfumes. When I was sick for a few years, I've always loved to smell good. I couldn't use any of it because it made me super sick, super asthmatic-y. And as I've been overcoming my illness, I can do it now. So like this is the one I've been wearing today, but I layer them. Spring pop. I love, and my hands, I love to smell like flowers. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. So it says, a respected professor. So it says, a respected professor and retired general. So this guy is like a professor and a general. Like, you kind of don't get too much more credible than that. Esha said the aliens were equally curious about humanity and were seeking to understand the fabric of the universe. Y'all, I gotta stop. I can talk about this for days, about their studying us and the stuff I've studied. Again, I don't know if it's real. It says, Esht said, cooperation agreements have been signed between species, including an underground base in the depths of Mars, where there are American astronauts and alien representatives. Yes! Okay, let me tell you guys about this. So, I remember being really little and being like, I think there's people on Mars. It doesn't make sense that there's not. I had no basis for that, guys. I had no reason to think that. But something in me felt that way. And then there have been all these reports that like in the 50s and 60s, like we've actually had way more access to technology since World War II than what people are talking about. And that's kind of become fact, all the crazy technologies and things. And then in World War II, remember that leader, the guy with the stash? I'm afraid YouTube will not be very happy with me if I actually talk about him. YouTube will demonetize us for anything, guys. It's so silly. But when it comes to this, he had all these crazy technologies, and I think they had more technology. And on top of that, remember the Roswell crash? I think they had access to more stuff than what they said, because there's been a lot of different reports and rumors that we actually have Mars. It's been inhabited by Americans for a very long time, whether or not it's prisoners who were taken against their will, or people who were just abducted, or people who signed up. And you remember that guy, I can't remember names, he was in Scotland. He got in really big trouble because he hacked the US government, and he got all of this high-level information saying that there were terrestrial, military officers and non-terrestrial vehicles, y'all. And he got in big trouble. I forget, something McKinney, is that it? Sound off in the comments if you know who I'm talking about. But they were trying to expedite him. They were trying to get him to the US to try him, but because he's a Scottish citizen, they really couldn't. Like, there's a lot, if you really go down these rabbit holes, there's so much interesting stuff. Also, the moon might be hollow. There's some weird stuff that I'm not saying that's probably a stretch, but some people think it's just a base for aliens. I mean, I love this. If you can tell, I get all buzzed. I don't know if it's real, but I get buzzed from it, especially when we have higher level people in government positions or in higher learning institute positions come out, because that seems to give more credit and credence in our society to that. So it says, I can't even get this up. I can't even talk about this because I'm too excited. I'm like shaking. Esht said agreements have been signed between species, including an underground base in the depths of Mars, where American astronauts and alien representatives. And that's another thing, like, okay, there's another thing, Gaia.com. I love some Gaia.com. They have Corey Good. They have David Wilcox. Wilcox is my boy. They have those two on there, and they've talked quite a lot and quite in depth about, working with ETs. Like, and I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying that they're not lying. I am saying I find it fascinating. I love it. This is such a big, passionate hobby of mine. So it says, Esh said that President Donald Trump was aware of the extraterrestrials' existence and had been on the verge of revealing information, but was asked not to in order to prevent mass hysteria. That's another thing. So insiders and people who talk about the ETs say that what the term that they use, they call it disclosure. Disclosure is a term that's used for disseminating this information in certain amount of ways. So being able to do it through movies or different people who speak up, but they have to do it in a very specific way, because if not, it can lead to a lot of cataclysmic crap, because we'll all lose our minds, basically. He says there's an agreement between the U.S. government and the ETs. They signed a contract with us to do experiments here. And you've heard, there's a lot of reports when it comes to that, when it comes to people who have said that they have been abducted, they've been taken, and that a lot of that seems to have some type of experimental processes, that there are all these different treaties and things with different governments, and then in exchange they get certain technology or military information, and that's just stuff that we're not allowed to know. So he says, President Donald Trump is aware of the extraterrestrials' existence and has been on the verge of revealing the information, but was asked not to prevent mass hysteria. They've been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are, Esht said, referring to the Galactic Federation. Amazing! The White House and Israeli officials did not immediately respond to the NBC News' request for comment. Sue Go, a spokesperson for the Pentagon, declined to comment. A spokesperson for NASA said one of the agency's key goals was the search of life in the universe, but that it had yet to find signs of extraterrestrial life. You know what? I'm going to call it. I think at this point, NASA is just a front. It's just a front for all the stuff they do in the background. Says Esht ideas are spelled out in more detail in The Universe Beyond the Horizon, conversation with Professor Haim Esht by Hagar Yainer, published in November. Sorry, his name is Hagar Yainer. Hagar Yainer. I completely butchered that. So, what does this mean? Nothing. it means a whole lot of nothing but me being happy. But I do think it's really interesting when we hear, again, people in higher level positions talk about ETs and the possible existence of ETs. I'm somebody that would love to believe that we have positive beings and forces on our side who want the best for us, but that's not to say that maybe they all do. This is just what I think, guys. And so I'm really, really fascinated by thinking maybe we have all these extended family somewhere else in the cosmos that is ready and wants to help us and wants to be there and maybe already does interact with some people in secret or in different ways, right? That they want to be there, but they have to wait for us to come to the right moment. And maybe that's what over the last 60, 70 years we've been going through on this planet. I would even say maybe 100 with Tesla being born. You know, the amount of technology we've really gone through, the technological boom in the last 100-ish, give or take, years, has been fantastic. And remember, here's another one, Nikola Tesla. My future husband who no longer exists in current physical form. Nikola Tesla said he was actually able to contact Mars and speak with Mars. A lot of people don't know this. And by the way, this is not me just making stuff. This is stuff Tesla said. And Tesla was a crazy, mad, wonderful scientist genius. We don't fully understand everything he did and created. So I just wanted to get this information out because I don't know. Again, I'm not saying it's real. But wouldn't I love to have a situation where we all of a sudden have a government that actually is for the people? I'm not saying Trump or not. I don't care. I don't care who it is. But wouldn't it be fantastic if we had that scenario happen and then at the same time, in those scenarios, we ended up having a situation where we ended up finding out we had all these extended family members who have waited, you know, probably hundreds of years-ish to see us and would like to give us gifts and bring us to betterment, better health, better understanding, better society. That's the stuff that keeps me going. And you know what? I fully understand psychologically. These just may be coping mechanisms for my life and the situations that I'm in. That's fine. You know what? I'll take my little fantasy coping mechanisms and you see how much fun I have with this and I will have so much fun. For me, it's so much fun to know and feel there is more beyond just this little meat sack of atoms and stuff drifting around the cosmos trying to figure out how to stay alive. I feel like the fact that on this planet we have to spend so much energy in survival takes away from so much joy and experience we could have. And I'm hoping as a society, we're moving more towards being able to be more free, in better health, in better understanding, to have better experiences, more wisdom, and enjoy our time more. That's just my hope. Okay, guys, if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and like it. Subscribe if you like this content and hit notifications so you can know when I upload weird videos like this or other fun videos just in general. Also, tell me in the comments, let me know, did you like this video? Do you like this sort of, I can do more weird stuff. Y'all don't even know how much weird stuff I like. I love weird science like this. So let me know in the comments. And share this content if you think that there are like-minded people who might like this. I would love to have as many people get to see this and get their perspectives. As well, like I said before, guys, if you want, I have a new channel you can see me on every day. I'm helping with finance news and giving finance and stimulus news, helping you guys find stimulus money in your area. So go subscribe to Katie's Insight and make sure and hit that notification bell, because when stimulus news or money breaks in your area, you got to be the first ones to get it before it runs out. So you can get those up-to-date information on where stimulus money is and where it's going for you. So you can do that. Or if you like this channel, subscribe here and I'd be happy to have you. Either one, we're just happy to have you. I say we, it's a me, it's a singular one. But I guess we as a collective whole, as the people on this channel and myself, we would love to have good people who like weird stuff. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. Take care, blessings. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next video, I'm sending you guys lots of love, hugs, mwah, and kisses to everybody.